Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a silver Rammus versus a silver Kha'Zix with Dark Harvest. So first and foremost, we're obviously going to tackle a level 1 thing here because this is very reminiscent of this Elo. We don't like to see this kind of stuff at all, at any level of play really, but let alone when you are so contingent on the mental stability of your laners, and they go ahead, level 1, walk in, flash out, die. Now the Rammus is over chasing the Kha'Zix, who's sticking it out. Jaeger's just chilling up here as a top laner. This is the stuff you straight up want to avoid always and perpetually, even if those things might be synonyms in certain languages. Look at this. The Rammus will die. Wait. The Rammus will live. Okay, so the Rammus lives, the Kha'Zix dies, and Jinx gets a whole bunch of stuff. Now, how does this change the nature of the game? My friends, it does not. It does not change anything in Low Elo. This is the fix for that. Don't venture into rivers to fight. Walk up here, leave a ward, and walk away. Go and watch this entrance. Tell your top laner you would like a leash because you're a savant and you know you need to pass down to the bottom side. Yes, that's the best way to play. If the enemy team does this, you will see it. Your team can poke them out. You will have the ability to counter this level 1. But most importantly, you don't want to compromise your level 1 through level 4 full clearing tempo, should that be a route, or, you know, level 1 to level 3 tempo. If you compromise that, you're inherently not going to have a really good early game. And don't forget, I have actually updated my jungle improvement PDF to have all the information necessary to take you from meta to meta, from season to season, along with in-depth jungle video courses for your MMR to take you to the next level, faster, better, stronger, and one-on-one coaching and a coaching VOD library, along with a whole bunch of reviews to show you just how great it is. Virkayu.gg is a jungler's learning paradise. Click the link in the description below to become the jungle diff forever. Be it growth tips sold separately. But mostly what we're going to investigate in this particular game is how can junglers somehow have no impact in this MMR range? Because a lot of you are going to say, look, I can't carry because my laner, so the Jinx gets first blood, so it's GG, right? Well, she hasn't reset currently, and she used her heal, so can we abuse that in any capacity? What can we abuse from what we know? It's always going to be the question when it comes to ganking lanes and fighting it out with enemy junglers. And when both junglers have a hands-off approach, as most do in this MMR range, you're not going to have a lot of success. So we have here the Jinx and the Leona pushing in onto the brand. Tristana will eventually show up. This guy's going to do his blue side quadrant. We're going to do our blue side quadrant. Against the Rammus in this Elo, obviously not going to go ahead and invade him. And secondarily, yeah, we talked a bit about, I mentioned the Dark Harvest. Why? Why would you go Dark Harvest? Hey, look, guys, the Jinx got first blood. Oh, no, it's doomed. Yeah, no, you never can really play about bottom lane. They will just kill each other and always have random things happen. So, yeah, why are we going Dark Harvest? You're not going to stack it. And the thing about Dark Harvest is, in general, if you are smurfing, if you're a categorical challenger smurf in this MMR range, you're pussy poo doing a Rengar Kha'Zix challenge and you can stack 32 stacks, yes, go ahead. But you are not him. Apology. You're not. And so you're not going to actually end up being active enough, strong enough jungle-wise, and making the right reads to actually get any meaningful stacks as you scale into the game. Just take first strike, stack your cash money gold, get rich, buy itemization, get an inherently strong lead through itemization and experience, and then just kill everybody with intelligent pathing nonetheless. However, this is what we call not so intelligent pathing, because we think, hey, let's go gank mid lane before we do the scuttle crab. Why? To what end? What are you ganking in this particular case? What do you recognize on the red buff? Why red? No, red's fine. In this case, you're slower, you want to be healthy, this is fine. But you could still just go ahead and do this, right? There's no real need for you to kind of look to do this and then float and wait for this. You got time. You know the Rammus is starting down here going up. So you know the Rammus is not a issue for you. You're not playing against a Kindred or a Jarvan who's just going to invade and kill you on this. So for me, it's like, hey, well, he's actually here at this stage. You look at the wave here, you see it's going to be pushing in a little bit. The Mordekaiser's got space. He dings level 4. It's a Veigar, level 3 with Flash and Event Horizon, near Kha'Zix. You're not going to get anything done in this particular micro moment. So just take an extra camp and then go ahead and take this afterwards. Invest your time more efficiently, perpetually and always. Again, using both words. But yes, always use your time efficiently, I guess, is the way to phrase that. Now, the Rammus here is going to go ahead and do a full clear, which makes the most sense because that's what Rammuses do in Low Elo. You also see this little naked ward down here by the Shaker. Now, the Kha'Zix is a blue side quadrant down, so he's not coming up, so you don't actually have to waste this ward, and this is why top laners die to early ganks, because they don't think about these things, because they're top laners, and likewise ADCs just go perma-fisting. Now, the Kha'Zix here, the nice thing about the, floating for the mid lane into this, is that because your bottom lane's basing, it does give you that advantage, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be such a, I don't think you really had to kind of do that. And what we can do, of course, yes, is cut in here because we look at this wave, we see it's pushing in, we know it's an all-in lane. The Zenith Blade misses, but she's going in. We see the Kha'Zix coming. And even though we should have pressed tab to track the Leona placing in control ward in this particular case, it does not matter. Just let the Jinx go. She's getting the excited turn here onto the Leona. Turn and she's level 2. The minions are going to be attacking you. Some are attacking the Tristana, some are attacking the other cannon minion. They're doing some Civil War stuff among the minions. Just go kill her. It's easy. Tristana will turn immediately, you grab the kill. No stress. Now, because we kind of floated like, hey, we're not going to do this, the Zenith Blade comes up. We can go back in here. Now we're going to jump in. We'll get that, of course, E-auto attack, but the red buff isn't enough and we don't get a kill, which is tragic. Wave's in a solid spot, but that's not about it, right? We don't really care about those things as a jungler in low elo. All you care about is getting yourself fed so that you can just brute force everything. The Rammus, in the meantime, shows up. Yes. Yes. How? Do I ask? Does this happen? Okay. Okay. You've got the ward, you see him, and you still end up getting chain CC'd. I will never know. But Rammus kind of full clears, does this, goes down at this particular stage. We look and see it's done. We know it's done because, well, there's no ways that Kha'Zix didn't do it by the time he ganked, right? Like, you gotta ask that question. There's no ways that the Kha'Zix shows up down here, right, with that 24 CS, and it was a full clear with no scuttle. There's no ways that happens. And of course, the bottom lane, when the enemy bottom lane, the blue team here, shove up and base after the kill, and Leona comes out of base with control wards, you want to check the river. So if you're playing lane as well, you can always check the river here a little bit, or just ward this and have a check, come down, ward, walk up. Is it down? Cool. So your jungler knows as well. Like, categorically, but it's pretty easy to know at this particular stage. What is he doing exactly? So the Kha'Zix falls back into his jungle to finish off the Krugs, but the Rammus wouldn't know this. So what all he wants to do is basically go for a good gank here. They walk into each other. Kha'Zix is like, hello, I'm going to go in. Gets taunted and, of course, powerballed. And now we're like, wait a second. I don't beat this guy 1v1. I'm going to jump in. You know how I said he wouldn't have enough fisting to get stacks? Now, well, he has 3. But in general, no. I guarantee you he will not have 32. By the time you get to that end game point where, you're looking at like 25 to 32 to kind of hit that electrocute kind of damage, guaranteed. But first strike is always just go first strike. So the guy does go back to base. Both junglers go back to base. Okay, that kind of wraps up the first phase. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on that's weird, right? And now instead of looking outward, hey, can I gank this lane? And that's why the whole concept is so important. Don't get stuck in these invades level 1. Don't die for your teammate. Let them die. Ward, let them die. If they do this, you can cut vertical, you can do cool stuff. Covered in the most recent video as well on the gameplay channel, the High Elo one. Here now, what we would want to be doing is full clearing, crabbing, 5 camping, crabbing, ganking, and taking all our camps. It doesn't really matter. Point is, we want to take all our camps, get a scuttle, and get a gank on the bottom lane. And if we can get another drive-by in the mid lane, then we're great. Like, that's cool. We go back to base, and now instead of going sequencing down automatically, we can go gank top lane pre-level 6, right? But before that 5-minute 30 wave. Especially if they don't reset like they do here in Low Elo, they just stick it out. That's what you want to do. But because you compromised the level 1, because you wasted all this other time waffling and floating and missing kills in the Leona and such things, their level 6 is 557, your whole second sequence is compromised. So in Low Elo, what happens is the reason why you find yourself having no impact, or you feel like, hey, it's my laners, they make the difference, because your laners are just allowed to lane for free in the first 10 minutes. Compare that to the laning presence in higher elo. One of those lanes is going to have a miserable time, and all lanes will most likely be ganked at some degree, and that's because the jungler is being active. So here now, because we've compromised our whole tempo, this guy now is moving up level 6 to go kill a Shaco who has a base with no mana. So it's a silly roam, right? Absolutely silly roam. Now we're going Wolves Grump. Yeah, he's going to TP back in, but Yorick is also going to need to reset, all right? Doesn't have itemization, so is this necessarily a fight you want to take? No. Do you even want to be ganking a Yorick anyway? Just let the guy work, man. Do this, into this, into this. And if you do want to do something, cut through, loop around the top lane, always good pathing. This ward here, shit, doesn't do anything. Why? Because a good jungler will stick to the wall, cut through the pixel bush. This thing right here, nice. Hit this one. Drag his hand very centrally across the rock wall of the river, touch grass, well, mud in this case, and then cut against this wall on the other side, so it can venting vision in a glorious way to show up in the mid lane and say, I will kill you. but it's Veigar. So that's why if we can gank early and burn this flash, that's cool, but at the same time, that's a good gank. Regardless of the laners or the jungle, that's always going to be a good gank. The Rammus, on the other hand, has decided, hey, look, you know, I'm going to go down here and do my wolves and then go investigating to the raptor camp. Why? Because he checked this, got the timer, and thought, I should just do it. You know, that's it. And now the Kha'Zix is going to let him get away. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. No, don't. Good pathing. My daughter does that noise, that's why it's in my brain. But hey, like, this is 10-month-old baby level pathing. I mean, no question. It's, again, like with the Leona, if you see them and they cut up and they cut down, you press tab and there was a control ward and now there's no control ward, they placed it. So don't walk over that bush. You want to gank it. If you want to clear it and leave, sure. But we don't want to do that here. Warded. We know it's warded. But don't walk through it. That makes sense? Also, you can have a scanner at this particular stage. I like keeping it first rotation. But like now he's walking down here, taking this for free. And bad pathing should be punished, right? Because if we had done boom, 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 we'd be on this right now. Like this, he would walk in here to try and take this. And if it's a jungler that beats me 1v1 based upon the matchup that I'm playing, and I'm like, what is he doing? You know, sure, I'll back off and leave if there's no laner assistance, but I'll ping for sure. And I think if this is up and this is up and I want to kind of fight it out, my laners will be able to rotate. But in this particular case, this Rammus leaves base, takes a wolf camp, and it goes counter jungling raptors. I mean, you can't make this up. This randomness cannot be predicted. But the Kha'Zix has shown himself. So now this guy is going to hover down, as he should, okay? He's going to move down, and from the Kha'Zix perspective, why would he move down? The light bulb needs to go off your head, because if the Rammus starts here and sequences up, cuts across mid lane, comes down and shows up here, press tab C28, so we know he did a full clear plus scuttle, because 28 CS is full clear plus scuttle. 24 CS is just a full clear. If you see someone with 24 CS, and I think this is very important actually, so let's just rewind a little bit. If you see the Kha'Zix gank bottom lane here with 24 CS, and you're saying, Virkayu, how do you know he did the scuttle or didn't do the scuttle? Well, if he did 24 CS on the full clear, he'd be level 4, right? Whereas if he did 5 camps in the scuttle, he's level 3. So that benefit is huge. If you press tab and see 24 and they're level 3, you know they did a scuttle, and there's 1 camp on the map. End of story. That knowledge is for us. And we know when we see the Rammus here at 28 CS, that's what he's done. So a little bit of silver tracking for you. Again, I detail how to track from 101 to a gold level in the silver course. Like the bronze and the silver courses, both separate courses, the video courses, we talk a lot about tracking fundamentals and how to do this snappy. Because once you get that down, it makes your decision making so much better. Perpetually and always. So the Kha'Zix goes in here leaping, but as soon as we see the Veigar going down, we know if the guy was pathing upside, has not shown up for this, he could be looking to cut or cut in, or, you know, that doesn't make sense because if he was here, the Veigar would go towards him. But the Veigar is going down to him. So is Leona roaming? No. Okay? They're in base, but at the same time, if Rammus is seen topside and he's doing that, probably. So keep track of the Leona's timers, where the lane is running to, and who could possibly be there. Because Rammus is most likely here, but Leona could be here as well, if, for example, you saw them shove and cut. So pay attention to your bot lane roams as well. Like, do they base? Do they die? Do they move into river? All of these things, fundamental to success. Now, Event Horizon comes on out. Mordekaiser face checks it, and again, he's ditching, like, down here as well. Why are you leaving? You're baiting in your team to making plays. See it through. See it through. And that's also why they're not active. This is why your kill participation, your damage profile, your Dark Harvest stacks are all just piss low because you just pull out of moments. You know, like look at this. We could have had an assist there plus a Dark Harvest stack until we got cut off by the Rammus, who's not getting zoned out. Why would you go in? Jungle diff, guys. Jungle diff. Kha'Zix is the man. You no doubt think he's thinking it. So, we're going to go into the dragon here as one does. I mean, I do think we could just translate to kill bot lane first. I don't think we need to force the dragon. I think, here again, more kills. So, from a typical jungler's perspective, you might think, okay, look, this is great. My laners don't need me. In high elo, sure, right? Like, I trust to a certain degree. Do you really trust? Like, I never trust ADCs, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even trust a challenger ADC most of the time. I think most junglers would agree they just never trust ADCs. They're the most macro dumb players in the game. But as a jungler, what's better here? Seeing this 2v2 through with the confidence that you've got a strong jungler and you can get assists plus stacks plus kills plus more, and then maybe translate that to a kill in the bottom lane for a shove, and then you could do this anyway, right? So, or give it up. And if you have to give it up because of the reset, that's fine, but I don't think you would have to. You'd be absolutely fine killing and still getting it. So, you know, you're looking at a jungler here who's 1-1-0, but very easily could have 100% KP. Plus that Leona kill in the bottom lane we should have gotten, which we didn't. It really adds up. So you might look at this and feel like, I have a lot of games where I have lack of impact in silver. How do I increase it in the first 8 minutes? Right here. Adapt your clear more intelligently. Look at the waves before you gank, not when you arrive. When you are in a fight and go for those 2v2s, actually make the play. You can't run away from fights mechanically. You have to make them. You're going to choose to path in that way, you should actually go ahead and make sure you get it. Now again, we got the Scuttle Crab here in the outsider rule. I mean, I think we should go ahead and snack this first and foremost. No way. Is he ill? I just watching it here, right? Because you got this ward here that kind of just gives you a little bit of vision. And here comes the Rammus. Tight to the wall, you see that? You see that? That difference? He hugs the wall tight so you don't actually see him. And that's the big difference here between the Kha'Zix's pathing and the Rammus's pathing. He's able to sneak in and take this on cooldown, but like what? To what end are you taking camps off cooldown? So think about your counter jungling as a low elo jungler as well. Why are you going there? To what end? Because in this case, you know, it's fine, but you could have sequenced more camps from your own side. I'm ganking. I'm ganking. Level 8 to level 6. Flash burned. Kha'Zix is arriving. I come, my children. Together. Together. Oh, look, it's warded. He didn't even notice it. So again, we're telegraphing. Now we're going up into this jungle to take this, and the Rammus can be like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. This is mine. Veigar, Shaco, let's go. But no, he doesn't notice or think about those things at all. Or wait, does he? No, he goes in for this. Straight to Brazil for Mordekaiser. He got sent back home. Now this guy's out of position, a little bit low here as well. So can Kha'Zix leverage that into a little gank on the Shaco? No! Missed opportunities. Yep, everywhere. Missed opportunities absolutely everywhere, all the time. All the time. And, you know, like, to what end are you counter jungling here? There's no objective. They're giving the guy dragging you, giving the guy a herald. In a game where junglers have no impact, what's the differentiating factor between the two team comps? Like, laners are just doing their whole thing. 1v1, 1v1, 2v2. And the only difference in junglers is that you can farm and take objectives in counter jungle. But if you're counter jungling, it comes at the absolute expense of your own farming. Are you even really counter jungling of value? Because if the enemy jungler can sequence his camps, what's left of them, plus your camps, and you're not even sequencing yours at all, you know? Like, we took Wolves, took this, then died. Then we took Blue Gromp, and it took Raptors, and then got a kill, granted, and then did this. Now the Kha'Zix can go topside, activate this sucker here, and get some plate gold. Is this the best use of Herald or the best one I've ever seen in my life? No, but he gets to actually identify which one's the clone. Well done, and gets a kill from it. So you can still dive, you can still do this, and this is a good play by the Kha'Zix. If you're not gonna... Hold up. Hold up. Here we go. Oh, close. Do you see what I'm saying, though? You know, do you... Yeah. That's cinematic rocket. Okay. This is a good play by the Kha'Zix here, but I don't understand the logic. Like, I'm doing Wolves and taking his Raptors. Why? Who coaches this? No one. Because it doesn't make any sense. Can I do my Gromp into my Wolves and then cut to gank mid lane, kill the Kha'Zix, kill the Mordekaiser, and then take his Raptors, Krugs, and gank bottom lane? Then we can loop back to do the Dragon. Then I can reset, come topside, maybe outside and rule this one, or I can gank this first and then go into this. Oh, Kha'Zix is bot lane? Fine, I'll take his stuff and then fall back to this. Counter jungling within the flow, not counter jungling because you can, right? And Kha'Zix, again, nice little snack. We show mid lane, we telegraph it, but the Rammus isn't interested in cutting it off. They should have. Like, the Veigar, the Rammus, and the Shaco could have easily just killed the Kha'Zix on this, and in a flex game, a Clash 5 game, you might actually want to do that, and then just take the Herald afterwards. And then you can decide where best to use it next. But the Rammus's addiction to randomly counter jungling now has him at an 11 CS deficit, and there's no real reason for him to have an 11 CS deficit. I think we can agree on that one. Because, you know, these camps were taken one time. These camps up here now are still level 5, right? This is second rotation camps, level 5, level 5. You can see that. Because for context, For context, obviously, the side you start on, the blue, Gromp, Wolves, and you go Raptors, Red, Krugs, yeah? The quadrant you start on, when they respawn, those camps will be level 4, and the second quadrant will be level 5. So basically, if you go counter jungling him now, like say you were the Kha'Zix and you were counter jungling out 11, 12 minutes, you would realize if you left clicked on those Raptors and you looked at their level in game, you'd be like, shit, guy hasn't taken his Raptor since the first rotation. What on earth has he been doing? He's been taking yours, because now you're going to go Krugs into Raptors, you left click it, you're going to see like level 9 or whatever, level 8. Wait, I didn't take my Raptors since the first clear? Cool. So you know he took them, and he got them, but they just respawned at a higher level, so it doesn't make a lot of sense just to counter jungle for the sake of it. Now, he did get some good ganks off mid lane, he is camping mid lane, but what does he have to show for it? Absolutely batshit nothing. And that's why it's dynamic to path intelligently, right? You want to make sure you're kind of going down, sequencing, and then gank after the sequence. Or if you can do this, cut and gank this, and then go top side, you know, do that as well. Always look to gank, counter jungle, and move within the flow of what you're trying to actually accomplish, which is which lane do I want to perma-fist this particular game? Brazil, send, no, oh dear me. Oof, oof, that is not the, no, stop it, no, no. Most junglers are doing it. Don't overcommit, please don't overchase, this guy will show up now as well. This is the lane we want to be ganking, right? So Kha'Zix hasn't come back here, why not? Path bot. And when you end up pathing to the win condition of your, he is so tanky, he's so tanky, nice Q. You know, you will end up having a lot easier time because if you're ganking mid lane a lot, it's quite simple. Full clear, gank. Can I gank this? Yes, no, maybe, okay, no. Come out of base, boom, boom, gank. All right, can I gank top lane, counter jungle? No, okay, do this, gank top lane. You can always drive by back to the mid lane, or again, you can just reset and come straight down to the mid lane, and then fall back to dragon and fall back to the blue side. Down to mid lane, like you can gank the lane before you clear, you can gank the lane in between a quadrant, you can gank the lane after full clear. You have those decisions, just tie it into some sort of organized movement, not, hey, I'm doing wolves, I'm gonna counter jungle raptors and gank mid lane. Like that's not a predetermined play, that's just randomness, right? Truth be told, actually, I do think he predetermined it. He was like, I got the timer, I'm gonna do the wolves, and as soon as those raptors spawn, I'm gonna take them. But if the Kha'Zix did Gromp, wolves, raptors, they'd run into each other. You'd have friction, you'd have a war, and the Mordekaiser might show up and kill Rammus, in which case the Kha'Zix takes everything, ganks bottom lane. This guy wants to do something but cannot, now is forced to sequence top side, but in silver, most likely, he kind of just hangs around, and you guys just kill him over the dragon, so all of this ties together quite cohesively. But as you can see, 3-1-0, Herald, Dragon, an absolutely respectable haul of an early game. But then you look at 11 kills and you're like, why is your KP so low? It should be way higher. I think we can agree that's largely his own fault for not committing, not seeing play after play after play, and being a bit of a mechanical wuss. So we go in here, slow, but we get it done. We get an unseen passive threat, 2 of those. Obviously, our reset. So we walk into the brush here, gain another one. Be cautious. Yeah, see, here's where, you know, if you're playing Dark Harvest, I would probably want the R Evolve first because it allows you more unseen passive threats, more repositioning, and more ability to go in and out to get more stacks. It's just a bit of a better play style for that kind of original ganking. I mean, we had that years ago. Covered it on the main channel video. Season 10, when Kha'Zix wasn't even meta, there's this guy Tanu on EUS, one of the best Kha'Zix players at the time, although I haven't been seeing him playing other champions lately. He would go Dark Harvest, 3 camp gank, R Evolve quite often, even in a more full clearing meta. Did that in Season 11 as well, so there's a lot of different styles you can do with Kha'Zix. You don't have W Evolve, so it doesn't slow, so there's no point hitting it. You might as well just run. Well, you get... Excuse me. I think I just missed something in my brain because I was looking somewhere else already. Did the hit... Oh, she ignited. Okay, goodness gracious. I was looking here, I was like ready to shift along to, okay, so we're going to the Raptors, I'm looking left, and she ignites, I wasn't even paying attention to it. Yeah, so again, don't stop the W's. Run, hit this run, don't try and play games with it whatsoever, just leave. Yeah, unnecessary death. So, this little coin flip game of a game, bottom lane are just perma-fisting each other, the Storm Razor is on the Jinx with a battlefield sword, big field sword, battlefield. Anyone remember Battlefield when it was good? Yeah, me neither. So basically the Yorick is just doing Yorick things, which is my point. Let him do those things and just go bottom lane. Oh, there we go. That's nicely done. Why are we going Hexdricker second? Well, what purpose does the Hexdricker exist in your build, as Veigar does hit that turret down himself as well. Second Herald is available. We will get a free Dragon while this guy's on the top side doing absolutely piss nothing. Again, should you go all in onto really strong laners, you know, like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Even if they get the kill here, which it looks like they probably will, I'm okay with... Coach, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, okay, never mind. So this is my point. Even if you get the kill here, should you be doing this? A lot of the time, you want to make sure that you're strong enough that you can actually do something about this top lane scenario, and then translate that into this. Because you know the guys down here floating with this right now, we can counter jungle this whole quadrant, take this and snack this baby, all under his nose. And if you go for this and you just straight up die, you're compromising. And like, if I just let him push, I will let him hammer away at this for a little bit, while I take all of these things and get really strong. If I'm behind, I think that's a better play. If you can actually go ahead and kill him, and then do all those things anyway. And I think that's the point. If you need to be strong enough to be able to actually kill that top laner at 17 minutes, and if you're not, and you're 0-for-1, you gotta look at your ganking technique, your farming, your counter jungling, everything is just having a fundamental breakdown. Again, why I made the video courses to kind of give you as much information as possible in one place to fix those things. Because you want your jungle decision making to be easy, right? It sounds complicated, and we make it complicated, and it is complicated. But if you have the right information, and you know what to do when that information arises, that's how you easily climb. Like, oh look, someone's doing the dragon, I can't contest it because my bot lane's base, I will leave and quickly do this. Trigger successful, information processed, and now you equal his play. And in other cases, when they don't go for the dragon, or they lose it, or you steal it from your teammate, and you get this and get to counter jungle, or he does this and dives and dies, you know, then you also get to get more. So it's always a case of, like, why? Why? I don't know how to explain this in a very kind way. Assassins in low elo don't work because people don't have patience. They're way too ambitious. Their talent greatly outweighs their ambition when it comes to engages and actually killing people. You're not fed enough to kill a Jinx with 11 kills with a Leona peeling when you're roughly the same level, you know? If you were Turbo Astro fed and you're up 2 levels like you should be, then yeah, sure, go ahead. But the problem is most players are never at that level. As we are trying again. You know he sees you, right? I'm confused, but if he was trusting his Veigar and his Shaker to do it, be my guest. So you need a lot of patience to play an assassin in this elo range because you need to let your team die. You need to let them waste spells on someone else. You need to pick your moments to go in, reposition, go out, and then come back in again. And if you don't do that, you will only have pain, suffering, and death I fear. To quote Yoda. Yodelicious. Now we are up 2 levels because we have played much better than the Rammus. There is a distinct difference here between someone who I think is more low silver, high bronze material, and someone who is very much low silver, mid silver material. There are positives because while we didn't do the right things, you know, I gotta stop saying that word. While we didn't do the right things in each moment we found ourselves, we were in the right position, right? Okay, I'm doing this 2v2. Good. Good. What did you do? I ran away. Why? Go for it. Same down here. I ganked bottom lane. Good. Good. What did you do? I ran away because of the minions. But you could just kill a Leona. So those things I think can be easily fixed. You know what I mean? And again, he was in the right position versus Rammus, who was just counter jungling, and yeah, sure, some nice flanking gankings. But again, like, you got 1 assist from all of it. So they weren't the best ganking recognition patterns anyway. Now we can do some nice flow. We do have the R Evolve finally, which is great. No Krugs. Shaco goes in. Do we want to fight this? I think we do. I think we do. Rammus is going to counter gank it, so be very careful. Here we go. Use the minions to your advantage. Don't stray from the ghouls and stray from the minions. Obviously, Rammus is able to do those things, but once he's wasted, and you can obviously go in and out. With your R Evolve coming up very, very shortly. Plant is hit. It was hit from here to mid lane. Jinx is dead as well. Brand is now vibing, I guess. Here we go. We go in onto a Shaker whose Q is up and up. No, Leona's here. Zenith Blade has not been remotely close this entire game, has it? It has not. Now he's going to go farming. So his farming sequencing has been completely off. Really, really, really off. And you're seeing that now in his CS numbers. 85 to 120. Kha'Zix is still 7-3-0. He's still my place. Here we go. This should be the 8th kill. That's why we use our E for all-in combos on stuff like Shaco. use your E, okay, do your Q mid-air, and right, get your W and your auto attack through, and the guy will blow up and die. You know, just use your spells one at a time. And I think that's another big thing for a lot of junglers. Regardless of what champion you're playing, even if we just don't talk about combos necessarily, just being able to use all your spells. I had a silver coaching last night, same thing. Just didn't use a Graves W properly. Had a lot of fights where he didn't use it, saving R for a blue moon. Use your spells, unload. Like here, there's no shame in just absolutely blowing your load to kill the Shaco. Right? You don't need to, but if you want to guarantee the kill, go ahead. And then you can turn and kill someone else, 2v1. So numbers advantage is what carries every single game through to victory. Now, obviously, the Kha'Zix is dead. He will respawn thusly. We're going into, yeah, like, again, this is just stupid. No real need for that whatsoever. Prowler's Claw, good tech as well. Edge of Night, if you, like, basically Edge of Night could work a little bit better in this comp, just from a CS perspective. The Jinx overcommits, and of course will now be, Flash engaged upon, and Mordekaiser says you picked ADC in 2K23, and everyone said, but it's ADC meta, they're really good, and we all agree. But again, the macro is so dense, it doesn't matter. You know, you can be the absolute biggest, fastest, most powerful machine in a drag race. But if you don't bring your start keys, doesn't matter. You can't move it. Well, we have buttons now, don't we? Unless you have a Porsche, they have that weird, like, push-in thing where you have to turn, like, can we just have a button, please? I mean, goodness gracious. And if you do have a key, then there you go. No keys, it works for you. So now we're going to take the objective again. 3 dragon control is good. So as I said, if you're not having laner impact and farming and counter jungling properly, the best thing for you is always to make sure you are getting those objectives and at least having some impact on the lanes, especially if they're winning. So the Rammus can easily blame his lanes, but I think we can all agree here that the Kha'Zix, even though it was less impact than maybe he should have had, still had more impact than the Rammus, and that influenced the lanes. Now, of course, he has more impact. On my neuron state, I just lost a couple more. We know they're coming from base, that's fine. Just little things like that are quite discipline-based, right? Look, I'm gonna flank them. You've got to be aware of your surroundings, right? Ra's al Ghul, that shit every game. Every game, all right? I don't want you to be able to fight 3 men. I want you to be able to fight off 300. To paraphrase it, because I can't remember the exact number. Even if the fighting choreography from Nolan films is kind of weird. Static motion, kind of, no? The Ben Affleck warehouse Batman scene from Batman vs Superman special edition, of course, is still the best fight scene we've had. The Nolan movies are better movies, but the action scenes were not as visceral, in my opinion. Much like the jungling in this game is not very visceral whatsoever. Now we're just like floating on the side. Is like, what are you doing, Brand? Like in the Silver Course, there's a brand, and we analyze team fighting. We fundamentally break down team fighting, so you can smurf every team fight. There's a brand, and what he does. Actually, that's a free clip. I put it in the teamfighting video on my main channel. Teamfighting guide on my main channel. It's from that clip. The brand kind of tries to flank assassin stuff, and his whole team is just without him the whole fight. Like he's not doing anything here too. Like he flanks it and just dies. It makes no sense to do that kind of stuff. You're a mage. You're just a different kind of backline damage. You're not an assassin. I mean, you can be an assassin, but you're not gonna, you know, side kill and reposition. You're gonna go in from the assassin point of view if you're flanking for a guaranteed kill. Like if I was Zyra jungle and there's one person here, I'll flank. And if they don't know I'm here because I'm scanning, I'll get my full on engage. I'll flash, I'll hit my root, I'll get my full R combo, cool. And then I can reposition around that. But as a brand, you're not necessarily doing that, right? You're just he's trying to assassinate one person and there's 3 people there, it doesn't make any sense. So, from a macro point of view, it looks like it's a lot of the same going on here. I don't really want to rinse through this too much. I've talked a lot about that on this particular channel. Kha'Zix again now looking for the flanks, walks into a box, gets chunked. We have a Leandry's force to flash the wall. There's a plant there we get hit. We don't hit it. We're now floating past this one. Jinx is showing up. We're going to keep running away. The rocket misses us. Cinematic off screen. And our bottom lane are just shoving. So a lot of the same old. And then basically we get an inhib. Cool. Nothing really to talk about here. I will leave a link of a comprehensive team fighting. I'll leave a link to the mid-game team fighting. The mid-game and the team fighting videos. We're closing this shit out, but I hope you noticed that. They were just 2-manning this. You can 2-man this at 20. So I think if you're a Kha'Zix and you duo with solo laner, go ahead and duo this a lot earlier. Give your team a lot of window, you know, to push a bit more. Of course, the Mordekaiser goes back to base, but now Kha'Zix super fed. That's the clone. Careful. Reposition. There he goes. So Nicely done. 14.52. Doesn't die that much. 17 out of 47 KP, 197 CS, so solid outing. But as you can see, definitely room to have way more KP, way more impact, be way more dynamic with this pathing, paying attention to the tracking and the vision and things like this. But overall, a solid foundation upon which to build his climb to gold. Rammus, 0, sensory deprivation tank. Reflect on this game, and let's throw it in the trash and try again the next time. Thank you very much for watching. Silver course is linked below, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.